This video will discuss conflict in literature. Conflict is a struggle between two or more opposing forces. It is the struggle the protagonist or main character must face in a story. Every story has a conflict. Conflict is the engine that drives the story, for without a struggle of some type, there would be no plot, no narrative, and there can be more than one conflict. The literary purpose of conflict is to create tension, making readers more interested by involving them in the characters' resolution of the challenges they face. Conflict is the struggle between two or more opposing forces. Every story has a conflict. Conflict is necessary to drive the plot. There can be more than one conflict. Conflict creates the necessary tension to engage the reader in the narrative. There are two main types of conflict. There is external conflict. External conflict takes place outside the character. It is between the character and an outside or external force. There is also internal conflict. Internal conflict takes place inside the character. It is a struggle within the character. There are three types of external conflict. The first is character versus character. This type of conflict occurs when one character has a problem with another character in the story. Think of Harry Potter and the One Who Must Not Be Named, aka Voldemort, or Optimus Prime versus Megatron in Transformers. Character versus character conflict can also include many characters in conflict with other characters. Think of the movie Pitch Perfect, where the singing group, the Bellas, compete against other singing groups. The second example of external conflict is character versus nature. This type of conflict pits the character against a natural force like a tornado in the movie Twister or a tsunami in the movie The Impossible. It could also pit the character against a swarm of bees or a giant megalodon like in the movie The Meg. It might even include characters facing the spread of a contagious disease like in the movie Contagion. In character versus nature conflict, the character is usually struggling to survive. The third type of external conflict is character versus society. This type of conflict occurs when the characters have a problem with the society in which they live. This can include conflict with the laws, beliefs, and even gossip in the society. Usually, the characters fighting against social traditions or rules or injustice. Think of the Hunger Games where Katniss Everdeen leads a revolution against the Capitol and all that it stands for. Now that we've discussed the three types of external conflict, let's talk about the one type of internal conflict, character versus self. This struggle occurs within the character's mind. Usually, character versus self is where the character must make a decision regarding his or her own identity, or resolving a moral dilemma or overcoming mixed emotions. For example, to tell the truth or not to tell the truth.
I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I did this! Mother would be so furious. That's okay. I mean, what she doesn't know won't kill her, right? Oh my gosh. This would kill her. This is so fun! I'm going back. I am never going back! I am a despicable human being. Woohoo!
Let's review. There are three types of external conflict: character versus character, character versus nature, character versus society. There is only one type of internal conflict: character versus self. Can you identify the following conflicts? 1. A lightning strike has sparked a wildfire, and a team of hotshots must put the fire out before it engulfs their town. 2. A young woman has had her marriage arranged for her, and she doesn't want to marry her family's choice. 1. If you said this was character versus nature, you are correct. This would be the primary conflict. However, don't forget that there could be character versus self conflicts as well, as the firefighters must overcome personal challenges to battle the blaze. 2. If you said person versus society, you would be correct. This conflict has pitted the young woman against her family's expectations and traditions. 3. A rock climber gets trapped in a ravine for 127 hours and must make plans for her own rescue. 4. A police detective must foil the plans of a mastermind criminal. 3. If you said this was character versus nature, you aren't wrong, but the primary conflict would probably be character versus self, as the climber has to make difficult decisions to enable her own rescue. 4. If you said character versus character, you are correct. This is the plot of many, many movies. Finally, every story has a conflict, but good stories usually contain more than one conflict. A lot of the time, there is an external conflict and an internal conflict at the same time. Conflict is necessary to drive the narrative plot. When a conflict is resolved, the readers feel a sense of closure or fulfillment.